too, excuse me. You might see it twice here because the window is open to do so, but maybe just once, as we're going to see a couple of creatures attack. Now, I do want to note that for Leveratto, huge draw of Growth Spiral on the last turn. Now, he had to take 2 damage to play the Breeding Pool untapped, but a huge draw there, which means we can get the 4 mana ahead of schedule.
Nice. Now, the one thing I like about this attack from Sebastian is he knows that, obviously, there's a Storm's Wrath in Matias' deck. So he's getting all the points of damage that he can. Because once this Reclamation deck gets going, it's very difficult to beat.
Now you see a deep breath there from Leveratto because as he played the Growth Spiral, drew Expansion Explosion, draw step for the turn was Thassa's Intervention. That's not land number 4 for Storm's Wrath.
No, it's not. I mean, he could try with Omen of the Sea to find a land.
Well, that's a little bit too risky right now. The thing I think, he doesn't want to, you don't want to play Gadwick.
Yeah,
right now,
I mean, with
obviously.
Torbrand down, he's dead, pretty much. He needs a blocker, so that's why he's hanging out with good old Gadwick there, the Wizened. It's not something you want to play for just 3 mana, but it's his best bet at staying alive right now.
I mean, his hand are more or less forced. I mean, what's a little bit interesting here is that you could make the argument for leaving up Thassa's Intervention right now, and that's actually what we're going to see happen.
Nice.
And Boulder Rush is a pretty big punishment here, able to play around Thassa's Intervention in some respects. But I love Pozzo here because he just drew a land. He's got Torbrand. He's got Rimrock Knight. Where do I go from here against an opponent that very clearly missed land number 4?
Yeah. Because if he risks it for the biscuit and tries to play Torbrand, he still gets in for the 3 points of damage. Then Matias is on 3. But he's just kind of got to hope that there's no Storm's Wrath to follow it up. So he's hoping. He's saying, please, dear friend, do not draw land number 4. Let my creatures live. And this has to be countered. So Thassa's Intervention is going to deal with Torbrand, Thane of Redfell, and he's not dead yet.
No.
He really needs a land.
He is not dead yet. I mean, we still have a game to be played here in a very meaningful way. He's got to draw a land, ideally one that doesn't deal him damage, or one that enters the battlefield tapped. I'm talking about you, Temples. It's a big draw.
Oh, no, that's not going to do it. So Gadwick can enter the battlefield. But, yeah, he's a little dead here with Rimrock Knight's Boulder Rush.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that for Leveratto, he doesn't know that there's a Rimrock Knight hiding out over there. We're going to see that unveiled here in just a moment, and it's going to be game 1 win, I think, to Sebastian Pozzo.
So Sebastian Pozzo is going to swing in here. We'll tender some blocks on Gadwick the Wizened, but Rimrock Knight will target whichever creature isn't blocked and pick up the victory here in pretty convincing fashion for Sebastian Pozzo. So we're going to go on to game number 2.
Yeah, it's a tough spot there because there was a Growth Spiral involved. A Temple of Epiphany was played that allowed Leveratto to scry as well. So unable to find land number 4, but you just see how the tenor is different when Storm's Wrath is involved. In the previous match we watched between Kvartek and Manfield, Kvartek wouldn't even have an out in that situation if he was Leveratto there. The difference there is that Leveratto actually has that interaction and more of it coming, it looks like, from the sideboard, too.
You can see a bit more hesitation from Pozzo, too. He's like, okay, do I commit everything I have to the battlefield?
Yeah.
And he knows that he can't, because if Leveratto yoinks that land off the top of the library, then, he basically has to rebuild from scratch.
Yeah, and that game is wildly different because then Wilderness Reclamation worked itself into the equation, Expansion Explosion worked itself into the equation, and maybe Leveratto's up that first game, but fortunately for him, never found land number 4.
So sideboarding against Reclamation, what is his main objective here?
You're not going to change very much. Bone Crusher Giant is not a great card in this matchup because you don't really have anything to kill with Stomp.
Yeah.
So you just want to keep your deck, again, very low to the ground, as Pozzo did in the first game, trying to kill your opponent as quickly as possible. You're not looking for a ton of interaction, so you don't have to change all that much.
Okay. Let's get things going here. It's a bit of an interesting hand. We've got Robber of the Rich, who's been a little bit of an MVP for the red deck because of the slower play, because these decks are more mid-rangey, grindy, control-y, whatever you want to call them. Like, most of the time, Robber of the Rich will hit the battlefield and will hit. So you can see him agonizing over this just a little bit. It would be nice to have another land in hand, but he is on the draw, so he has the opportunity to draw that.
Now, if I'm Pozzo, I'm not particularly fond of this hand. You could certainly make an argument for keeping it, but this hand is slow. You're without a 1-drop. You have a Claim the Firstborn, which you're basically looking to use to take a Gadwick or something else that's kind of large. Hydroid Craces, like that type and style of card. But that's not going to work itself into the equation except until a very long time from now. Also, we can't forget that it can take Uro, take that, and attack for 6. But that card's not really doing anything right now as far as your hand's concerned. Embercleave, with the texture of this hand, is basically also a blank card.
Yeah.
And then Onyx is a kind of card where it's good. You're not unhappy with it. I don't think you love having a second copy. At the end of the day, he's going to keep. It's right for me on the edge of keep or mulligan, and looks like we're going to go with it.
Okay, so...
Ooh, that's a tough draw, too.
Yeah, it's a little... I mean, if he draws a 1-drop with that, if there's a 1-drop behind here, it might be okay, but that's a Runaway Steamkin, so not what he was looking for. Can get in 2 points of damage here with Robber the Rich, or start setting up the Steamkin. If he does have mana issues or expects to have them, this might be, the correct thing to do. Trying to play some cheap creatures and just catch up mana-wise with the Steamkin's abilities.
I think if I'm Leveratto, I'm loving how this game is already starting to shape up because I've got Uro immediately. So of course I'm going to gain 3, draw a card, play additional land. I'm working myself towards more things. Now the only problem here, as Aether Gust was the draw, is that I'd love to have a Wilderness Reclamation or another payoff besides Expansion Explosion, or Reclamation to go alongside Expansion Explosion.
I mean, this deck, it's a Reclamation deck, but it can win without that card on the battlefield.
Absolutely.
If it survives long enough to get Uro down, because Uro is an absolute house. Enters the battlefield, it attacks, it draws you cards, it gains you life. It's just mono red hate to see that card resolve, so...
Very fortunate there for Pozzo that he was actually able to get that hidden with the Runaway Steamkin. You see that Leveratto does have the ability to sacrifice the Fabled Passage to play Aether Gust and gust away that Steamkin, but he let the hit come through, and now a couple of lands have rolled off the top of the deck.
Look, Cedric lands.
Yes, which
it's fine.
Very much needed. But again, the problem with this hand, Ailey, is that it's clunky. We're not in double spell territory. We're not seeing 1-drop plus 1-drop, 1-drop like we saw in the previous game. We're just kind of clunky across the board, and we have a reactive card in Claim the Firstborn, which, again, can be a game winner, but not doing all that much right now.
Should he go for the second light up the stage here? He's probably concerned about not being able to cost everything that it exiles.
Well, and that's what makes this so difficult, is because, as you mentioned, light up the stage, depending on what's revealed. Now, you can go to Robber the Rich, but you make this play, your Steamkin goes to a 3-3. If Storm's Wrath works itself into the equation, you don't really have much going on.
Everything dies.
Yep.
All right, so Sebastian's hedging his bets, hoping that there's no Storm's Wrath in his creature's future. Unfortunately, not getting the swing in there with the Robber of the Rich. Cracking the land is Matias Leveratto. He's going to go and find one from his library, and he's got Aether Gust available.
Yeah, and I really like this.
Oh, nice.
Use all of your mana, because now you get the opportunity to play a land. When you untap, you draw your card. You reassess the battlefield, of course. You play your land, you cast Explosion if you'd like to. But more importantly, you just want to get more cards into your graveyard to be able to escape Uro.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this game is currently about, given what Leveratto has drawn.
So now it seems like we're going to get rid of the Robber of the Rich. Let's explode this little friend off the battlefield. Could have also growth spiraled and expansion that, but I like the card draw.
Yeah, you're much more interested in just killing the creatures and just continuing to draw cards and play lands and all that other stuff. And again, build up your graveyard for Uro.
Yes.
That's what we're working towards this game.
Yes, exactly right. So Anax, Hardened in the Forge, is on the battlefield. He's just going to hang out there until the next turn, unless he dies or gets Brazen Board back to hand of Sebastian Pozzo.
I like how this game is shaping up here for Leveratto. He's interacted early and often. It hasn't involved Storm's Wrath. So that means that it's been a very slow start here for Pozzo. And again, Pozzo's hand is kind of all over the place. So you might think to yourself, why Explosion to 2-2? Well, the reason, there's multiple. 1, that's going to shut off light up the stage. 2, that's going to make Embercleave look really bad. And one of the goals when you're playing against red is to make Embercleave look really bad. Gusting Annex is going to continue to make Embercleave look really bad.
Chances are we'll see this go to the bottom, as we do have one in hand. So Pozzo wants to find some more action off the top of the library. Matias is doing a very good job of just keeping control of the battlefield. He's gotten rid of every single threat that's come his way. He's getting closer and closer to Uro, and I think we're going to see our big friendly Titan right now.
And this is what I love about how he sequenced this game, is he's keeping the battlefield clear. He's built up a graveyard to escape this. And now you've worked yourself into a situation here, Ailey, where if Claim the Firstborn takes Uro, okay, I'm at 17, because I just went to 23, as opposed to I went from 6 to 0, or you've taken my only blocker, and now I'm taking all this damage from an Embercleave creature. It's a clean battlefield. If you want to claim the Firstborn this, go right ahead.
I don't see a problem with that. I mean, he gets to draw a card, gain some life too, right?
Yeah, it's so... Claim the Firstborn taking it, it's fine, but it's just not great.
Oh, you know what would be cool? If we could Embercleave Uro.
I've seen it happen.
No, wait. Oh, drat. All right, so Uro is going to be the steal target here. Gonna swing in, gain 3 life, and draw a card. If it's a land, we get to play another one for Pozzo.
Now, what I love about Leveratto's response here is that he's just kind of like, okay, that's fine, I'm at 17. I don't really care all that much. Now, this does turn on light up the stage. Mountain plus Embercleave are the reveals here, and this does allow NX to come back down, but we're talking about a player that has more or less stabilized the game here in Leveratto, and now, for him, he's probably looking to think about maybe, it's time to start attacking for 6 with my creature.
Oh, yeah.
And let's get this game over with, because I've got pretty firm control of it.
Yeah, he does. The longer this game goes, the worse it gets for Pozzo. It's only an okay situation if he's got a massive battlefield. If Anax is incredibly powerful and the board gets wiped, and then he gets all the satyrs, right? You know, that's kind of like the only way that he gets out of this.
When I think of Matias Leveratto,
Yeah.
I think of Wilderness Reclamation. He just drew that card for the turn.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to start working ourselves into Wilderness Reclamation. Now, Omen of the Sea, pre-Reclamation, scry 2, draw 1. Get an idea of what you can do with your Reclamation. You've got Castle Vantris on the battlefield in combination with Reclamation. So now everything's kind of going his way.
Oh, he found a Storm's Wrath on the top there.
He did find a Storm's Wrath on the top there. Looks like he's going to send that one to the grip. So now that gives him a little bit of something to work towards as well in case things get a little bit hairy out here. Love the attack. Get yourself a little life. Draw a little card.
More land.
Yes.
Cool. Uro this is a silly card.
If you can get it on the battlefield,
yes,
it's outstanding.
Oh yeah,
it's absolutely outstanding. Now it of course will buy you some time ideally, but it is an incredibly powerful card. It's the ace in the hole against red.
Look at this. He is ramping to oblivion.
Yeah. This is how it's got to go against red.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how it has to play.
This is the perfect example of what the Temur Reclamation deck needs to do against mono red. They've just shut them down completely, holding off the fort. All these little red critters are not going to get through Uro, or like, I mean, they're not even going to make a dent in his life total.
Now there will be games, and maybe it'll happen in the next game that we watch, where Claim the Firstborn's going to take that Uro, and it's going to be incredibly bad news. Yes, but in this particular game, again, Leveratto has done a beautiful job of balancing the battlefield, keeping his life total high, hitting those land drops, and just making sure that everything's just nice and cozy. And there's not a ton that Pozzo can do in this spot, because now we've gotten to the stage here, Ailey, where the Scorch Bitters, well, they're great on turn 1, but they're absolutely horrible on turn 8.
Yeah, they're not so great now. I mean, the only reason to play them out would be to get, you know, to replace them with the little satyrs or Panax. Oh, cool. Embercleave. Sweet. Not what I was expecting, but I like it.
Well, we're going to see it. and I don't think that Leveratto is surprised, and he's got it covered. He's got Petty Theft at the ready.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Anax. No smacking today, friend. You're going to have to wait another turn.
And what I love now is now we get to turn up the heat.
Oh, yeah.
Play my Brazen Borrower, get in here for 9, and that.
Oh, Expansion Explosion. So this game is pretty much over.
Yes, it is.
We're swinging in for 9. We're going to go tappy, tappy, tappy on the end step, and a big kaboom to the face here of Sebastian Pozzo. Yikes.
Now, it's not quite, it's not Nexus of Fate, but in this particular situation, it might be a little bit better. It's going to get the game over right now with Explosion.
I appreciate it. It gets the game over quicker. It's not dirtling your way through another turn. So this is totally fine by me. Let's see some explosions here for Matias Leveratto, who picks up the second win. And now we're going to game number 3 between these two Argentinians.
Now, if you are a mono red fan and you're rooting for Sebastian Pozzo, you are thrilled because this is where you want to be if you're mono red. You're the aggressor. You're in a pretty good matchup. Gets a little bit more difficult after sideboard, but on the whole, I would consider it to be a good matchup, and you're on the play. That's exactly where you want to be in game number 3, because you just saw what happens when you're on the draw. It gets a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
And Pozzo thought a long time before keeping that hand. That hand didn't work itself out, so now I'm curious to see if he changes up his configuration all that much, which it doesn't look like he will. But again, being on the play in this matchup, really on the early stages of the game, you only have to concern yourself with Storm's Wrath, and you continue to play the game accordingly. So I like Pozzo's position right now, given that he's on the play. Let's see what the opening hands look like.
Ideally for him, he wants to get this game over before turn 4.
Absolutely.
So let's see if he can do it. Ooh, this is quite nice.
So
maybe missing a Fervent Champion or something.
Well, you've got your 1 in Scorch Bitter.
Yeah.
You've got your 2 in Robber the Rich and Runaway Steamkin. So what your hand is now is, and I've got 4 lands, and 2 of them are Castle Embra. Now I need some good draw steps, because I got enough lands to do everything I want to do. Let's draw some spells.
All right. Let's get things going here. We've got a pretty good hand on both sides. We've got Storm's Wrath, so that is the card that Pozzo is going to have to try and avoid for all he's worth. And Matias just deciding which land he wants to start things off with. He could go for the Scry if he's looking for another color. Is he missing his green at the moment?
Yeah, I think that's the problem here. Yeah. I believe that's what he's missing. Now, he is holding a land, and it is a copy of Steamkin, so he is missing green at the moment. Now, a land, which was drawn there by Pozzo, not ideal. You would have loved to draw a spell there, because you've got enough lands to function, and you've got a mana sink there in Castle Embra.
Scorch Bitter getting in for 2 points of damage, drawing another Storm's Wrath, so yeah, he's going to be able to control this battlefield quite well. Embercleave is the draw for Pozzo. He's going to want to get that going as quick as he can, but like you said, it's this cautious dance around these wraths, because they really hurt the mono-red player if they land.
Now, an interesting interaction point right now, if you are Leveratto, do you want to play Gust, or do you want to play Scorching Dragonfire? It looks like he's leaning towards Ether Gust on Robber of the Rich. He does have 2 ways to interact here. He continues to miss his green source of mana, at least for right now. And if he's able to find it, it's really going to turn his hand on, because not only is it green mana source number 1, but it's land number 4 for Storm's Wrath or Wilderness Reclamation.
So Ether Gust is going to sort out Robber of the Rich. I don't see a reason to send it to the bottom, do you?
This is, I mean, this, because the only reason I send this to the bottom is because
Yeah.
you have higher impact draws.
Yeah.
But because you have more cards, excuse me, you have less cards in hand, Robert the Rich is going to take a card from Leveratto. So that's part of the reason you want to keep it.
Yeah. Still no green for Leveratto. Temple of Epiphany, hopefully finding what he needs. One to the bottom, though. So things are not looking good here for Leveratto. He needs to find his green to get things going. If he does, he's pretty much set up for whatever shenanigans he wants to pull off.
Leveratto's got a real decision to make right now, too. He's got one piece of interaction that he can play in Scorching Dragonfire. And he knows that Robert the Rich is on the top of the deck. So now the thought process is, do I kill Runaway Steamkin before it gets got out of control? Or do I kill Robert the Rich? Additionally, there are 2 creatures in the battlefield. There's an Embercleave in hand, and there's a 4th land there.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to think about the fact that Embercleave worked itself into the equation. So for the Mythic Championship 3 winner, I'm curious to see how he's going to use this copy of Scorching Dragonfire.
Well, time will tell. We'll find out very shortly which target he goes for. I mean, Runaway Steamkin, like I said previously, it's not as impactful as it used to be. You know, back when Experimental Frenzy was prevalent in the format. You know, Robert the Rich can throw a spanner in the works of these more mid-rangey control decks because they steal all the good stuff. Oh, all right, we're going for an attack here.
So
Nice.
this is interesting because now you got the attack step to where you want it, and now you get to work in Embercleave. Now, was he supposed to fire Scorching Dragonfire before that? I don't know, because now here's what happens. The Runaway Steamkin trigger is going to happen 3/3.
Yeah.
And now where's my Embercleave get to go? Now, if you Scorching Dragonfire the Steamkin, then Embercleave's going on the Scorch Spitter.
Yeah, because you have to... No, but he can choose who it's targeting and then kill
yep,
it?
so he'll kill... He looks like he's going to kill Scorch Spitter
There we
in
go.
response. But what that means is that Steamkin's still on the battle.
Yeah.
And so this is why I was curious about how he was going to use the Scorching Dragonfire, because now ultimately, here's the big problem. Embercleave is on the battlefield now.
Yep.
It's here.
It can be
instead of being
reattached.
stuck in hand. Yes.
But on the plus side, if he finds an untapped land, he can just blow up the battlefield entirely, and Embercleave just gets to sit there until something happens. The Scorching Dragonfire takes care of the Runaway
so he's going to kill the
Steamkin.
Steamkin.
Nice. 4 points of damage with
Yep.
Scorch Spitter. And another Wilderness Reclamation. That's not what you want to see. Okay, so Pozzo has the opportunity here to finish out the game if he draws something useful. Unfortunately, it's not really something useful.
Checking.
Can he Ember here? I think he needs 4, doesn't he?
Yes.
Needs, yeah. Move it over. Yeah. Cool.
Like that because you get to take 2
Nice.
cards.
Oh, goody. Awesome. All right, so Matias Leveratto is at 1. Does he find land? There we go. Storm's Wrath deals with the battlefield. Uro is the draw. This could turn things around here.
I think we continue to play on
I think
with
this-
Leveratto at 1 life.
Yeah,
Yes,
we just scored Storm's Wrath again.
We Storm's Wrath again if you're Leveratto. Now, obviously Leveratto needs a green source more than we can even attempt to convey.
He's playing an Izzet.
Oh, boy.
Friends. Oh, wow,
Okay.
it was me.
Okay.
So things are getting interesting here. Do not
Okay.
count Matias Leveratto out just yet, friends, because he is finding his source. He cannot play that.
Correct.
Yeah, otherwise he would smack himself in the face and go to -1, and that is not allowed. So, woo! All right, Runaway Steamkin.
He's coming back.
That's fine.
He's coming back.
You have a
now.
feeling in
Yeah.
your bones? All right.
This is a huge draw step for Leveratto. He would love to have a removal spell to kill this Steamkin and play Uro on the same turn. That would be the ideal turn. I think
see what
Ether
he
Gust would be
finds.
the best draw here if he's able to find it.
Now, would Ether Gust get rid of the Embercleave or the Steamkin?
That I couldn't tell you, but what I can tell you is that Castle Vantress
Yep.
is going to allow for a little scry.
Oh,
No,
yes.
a little bit of a frustrated shaking of the head there. Leveratto doesn't give away a lot with his body language, but he doesn't look thrilled with whatever that scry 2 may be. Temple of Epiphany is one of those cards right now here for Leveratto.
Both
to the
going to the
bottom.
bottom. Let's see, does he find something off the top? It's another Temple of Mystery. Can he stay alive here? He's got Uro. He can draw a card. He's got Growth Spiral. He can draw another card.
So
he needs
right
to
now,
find Ether Gust. That's his only out, right?
Right now, well, he does have other red removal he can find. So right
Yeah.
now, he's going to start with Temple of Mystery, which I like a lot.
Yep.
And now he's going to go to Uro.
Let's see what is on top of the library.
Remember, this will allow him to draw a card and gain
Gain
3.
life.
Stomping
Ground.
Okay, so still not dead.
Hmm.
Because we get to play this on tap, go to 2. Turns on Growth Spiral into Gust. You're still alive. I'm curious if he's supposed to deploy Reclamation this turn.
Yeah, and then try and find something with that.
I'm a little surprised he went the spiral there.
Oh, there
that
we go.
keeps him alive.
There we
Okay,
go. All right,
okay,
he's very good at digging through his deck for answers,
That
Cedric.
keeps him alive.
It does. Anax hardened in the forge is the draw for Sebastian Pozzo. So this is a very, very interesting match indeed. Matias Leveratto showing just how good this deck is at getting cards out of the library and finding a key one in Brazen Bar and Petty Theft. Man. Okay, now he has to get rid of the Steamkin.
Well, he's naturally going to bounce the Steamkin. There's no question there what's going to happen with the Petty Theft. Brazen Bar will go on to an adventure. He gets the opportunity to untap. He now has double green to be able to play Uro as well. So he's hanging on. Now,
he's hanging on, yeah, by a thread.
It's going to be tough, but he's hanging on.
Yep. He's good at this, though. I mean, 2 life, it's not 0. He's fine. It's all good. Runaway Steamkin, just deciding if he wants to deploy that again.
This is a great question right now as well, because it'd be easy to just play Steamkin and pass the turn back, or are you supposed to equip your Anax with the Embercleave? Do you want to deploy an additional threat because Storm's Wrath is in your opponent's deck? Pozzo's got to think about that now.
If he plays the Steamkin again, he gets 3 Satyrs, right?
This is true.
Then you can equip one of them with Embercleave and then hopefully get the victory that way. Uro is going to be on the battlefield next turn, I believe.
Almost assuredly. I think there should be plenty of cards in the graveyard to allow for that to happen.
Yeah.
We don't have a great look at the graveyard, but I'm willing to assume that there are at least 5 cards down there.
I think you can also Castle Embereth the Satyrs if there is a board wipe in the future here for Sebastian Pozzo.
Not a lot of time left in the match.
Oh boy.
I'm curious. Fabled Passage. Interesting.
Okay, so
that's another card for the graveyard.
Yeah. So we've got the draw. Uro can come back. He's got enough friends to send into exile to escape the graveyard. Oh, this is getting very, very interesting indeed.
Remember, Brazen Borrower can't block ground creatures.
No,
so the fact that
the
it's
Brazen
a creature,
Borrower, he's just
nothing there.
He's just a birdie in the air. Not doing anything right now. So yeah, we really have to find a board wipe here for Matias Leveratto if he wants to stay in this, because he's in a bit of trouble now. Let's see what he can find. Uro, what you got there, buddy?
I mean, you got 3 life and a 6/6, and I mean, that's not a bad place to start.
Yep, that's pretty good. So, up to 5. What you get? What do you find? What is it? Omen of the Sea. That's another draw.
I love myself a good redraw.
Oh, yeah. So, Wilderness Reclamation.
So I think, so this time, So now this time he's gonna get Reclamation down on the battlefield. There'll be a trigger. He'll get to untap all of his lands, and then Omen of the Sea will get to scry 2 and try to find another answer. I mean, he's still in this game.
Oh, yeah, he sure is. So Wilderness Reclamation, here we go, tapping. I hope he did his tapping workouts this morning.
Oh, that's already built in his brain. This is the best Wilderness Reclamation player maybe in the world. That's in there. Okay, scry 2.
All right, so here we go, tapping away. Are we going to scry here? Yes, we are with the Omen of the Sea.
Okay, so this play's awesome, which means he plays Omen of the Sea. Trigger, when it enters the battlefield, you get to draw 2, you get to scry 2 and look at 1. And then he said, okay, with that effect on the stack, I'll sacrifice Omen of the Sea to scry 2. So that means he's increasing the quality. He's increasing the quality of his draw stack.
Oh, talk about quality of draws. Hey, Torbrand, how's it going?
So what he did is basically he increased the potential for him to find an answer to keep himself alive, and he did that. He found a copy of Aether Gust.
He did.
So...
Oh boy. All right, things are getting spicy now. Torbrand, Thane of Redfell is going to enter the equation, as you like to say, Cedric. We get another trigger there off Runaway Steamkin. We can equip Embercleave 2. Oh my goodness. Things are getting so good.
So Embercleave can work, as far as Embercleave being equipped, that can work itself in and going on Onyx.
Yeah.
However, the Gust is the perfect card.
Yeah.
Because that's going to either send back Embercleave, it's going to send back Onyx, it's going to send back something, and then Uro's going to get to block something else. So this is really, really, really good news right here, I believe, for Leveratto.
Oh, I like this. Putting it onto the Steamkin.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so Uro can kill Anax. Could kill Steamkin, but has to block Anax. No, don't have to block Anax. Aether Gust can just send one of these guys away.
So if the Embercleave goes on to the Runaway Steamkin, it's a 3/3 double striker.
Yeah.
And then Anax is an 8/3.
Yeah.
And then you can tender a block on Anax. You can tender a block on Steam. You're actually going to probably want to put your block on. You're going to probably want to put your block with Uro on Anax, and then gust away something involving the Steamkin. Is what I think.
Would there be a consideration to send Anax back to avoid the Satyrs being created?
Potentially. It really depends on the makeup of Leveratto's deck after sideboard and what he concerns himself here with.
Yeah.
This decision is going to be a bit of a lengthy one here for Leveratto, I believe.
Because if he blocks the Steamkin, Uro dies, Annex goes away. We don't get another creature on the battlefield. It's just Torbran left with the Embercleave.
Also worth noting right now, too, Ailey, is that on the top of Leveratto's deck is another copy of Uro.
Oh, nice.
Now, remember, when you cast it, it's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to die.
So it's not going to be seen as a blocker right now.
I'm not sure how many cards he has in his graveyard, but he might be close enough to recast Uro straight away. But let's see here what he decides to send back. Man, I do love how long they take to decide. You can just see like their brains, like smoke coming out of their ears.
With a tournament of this nature, with how much is on the line, you have to think through every single decision. You want to be the winner of World Championship 26.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Aether Gust is going to get rid of Annex.
Now remember, with Torbran on the battlefield, it's going to be 5. It's going to be 5 first strike damage.
But that's cool because it still kills it.
Correct.
Which is good.
And now you get
your Leveratto.
5 minus 1 is 4. So this means that Leveratto should end the turn at 1.
Whoa.
Correct. Steamkin's dead. You get to play Brazen. You get to play Brazen Borrow, which doesn't change much.
No, it's just
it can't block or anything like that. But
now we get some fun stuff going.
Yeah.
Where we get another Uro. Titan of Nature's Wrath. We gain another 3 life. We need to find answers if you are Leveratto. He's deciding if he wants to scry first.
Yeah, I think this is kind of an interesting decision. Does he want to go to Castle Vantress right now in the upkeep or not?
Man, talk about a nail biter.
This is a heck of a game right now. Okay, so he's going to upkeep Castle Vantress. Okay.
Very curious to see if he sends back that Uro.
Now, I'll note here as he's scrying, Leveratto's working with what one would call perfect information. You know the cards in your opponent's hand, 0.
Yep.
Battlefield, Torbran, Embercleave, the lands. Top card of the deck, Annex. So you know everything going into the next turn.
Oh, Opt.
Well, you don't know what that's going to yield.
Okay, Opt, what you got there, friend? So Opt is okay. It gets more cards in the graveyard for Uro, who's not active at the moment. So he needs more friends in there to get something done.
Let's get the easy part out of the way.
Yeah.
In for 3.
In for 3. Yep, that's easy peasy. So here we go, another Wilderness Reclamation. If he finds Expansion Explosion off the top, does he have enough land to kill him?
I don't believe so. So here's what's kind of interesting. So you're going to get 2 Wilderness Reclamation activations. First one, untap your lands, use Castle Vantress.
Yep.
Again, this is much like last turn with what we saw with Omen of the Sea, as you're just trying to increase the quality of your draw step for when you cast your op. So what we're going to see is Float some Mana, Wilderness Reclamation number 2, scry with Castle Vantress again. See if when you cast your op, you're guaranteed to find what you're looking for. He put 2 cards to the bottom the first time. We'll see where these next 2 cards go.
Man, this is tense times indeed.
Bottom.
Oh,
I remember once upon a time when someone had to top deck a card with an op.
Let's see. He gave it a little bit of a swirl. Let's see what
sure did.
Find him. Is
bottom.
It that keeps him alive?
It is. It is not.
Dragonfire.
It is
not. Gonna
not.
Do it. Oh man. Scorching Dragonfire just shy of killing Torbran. So unfortunately for Matias Leveratto, he is out of options. Not able to full the graveyard. Couldn't get Uro back onto the battlefield. Man, that is some rough luck indeed.
It is a point short of killing Torbran. And these 2 good friends, teammates.
This was an absolutely stellar match. He gives the good game. Sebastian Pozzo is going to win it against his good friend Matias Leveratto. What a game that was, Cedric.
An unbelievable third game, an unbelievable match. You see just how close it can be between Temur Reclamation and Mono Red Aggro, but at the end of the day,